What's going on, guys? My name is Santiago Leunda. It's been another really busy week for me, so let's just hop into today's video. So if you've been following my videos, then you probably remember that a couple weeks ago I posted a video in which I got hired to do some video work. Alright, so I just pulled up to the location of the business that I'm going to approach with that offer. So to make a long story short, I went back to the business, shot the video, took it home, edited it, finished it, and now here's what the final product turned out to be.
So this is game night. The concept of barcade was starting to come up in the last 2 years. I figured I could bring my own flavor to it. 32, I've been here since I was 14, and I feel like there's nothing like that here. It's great to see video games being that place where people can come together. And every Wednesdays we do tournaments. We offer a cash prize. You put something into it and you're trying to get something out of it. One of the key things that we wanted to do here in Coral Springs is not only just have a cool hangout place, we wanted a nice craft bar where you could come in and not feel like you got ripped off when you left. Week to week, you can usually come here and find a different beer. Val works really hard on his draft lines to offer limited releases and new beers and new bottles from our cooler that you won't find just at your average bar. I'm putting the call out to everybody who lives in Coral Springs. We have great food, great atmosphere, great beer selection, just a great place for you to come and have a good time. We're open 7 days a week from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. I'd love to see you. My name is Spencer and my partner's name is Val, and we would love to serve you.
So first of all, I want to just say that I'm really proud how that video turned out. But like with any video, there are those things that I could have done better. The biggest thing I would have done differently was probably the interview shot. I had the owner of the bar looking at me and I was on a lifted bar stool, and so he was looking not only up but really far from the camera, which towards the end, especially when he was talking directly towards the audience, created this disconnect. So I'll take note of that and make sure not to make that mistake in my next projects. And that was really the only issue I had with the video and the way I shot it. The rest of the video, I'd say, is pretty up to par with my standards. Now I just want to take a second to talk about how I actually shot this. Let's start with the gear. So because I was a one-man crew for this shoot, I wanted to keep my gear as light as possible. I brought my 2 cameras, my tripod, my slider, my LEDs, my microphone and recorder, and that's it. Oh, that sounds like a lot. But I didn't end up using a lot of that equipment on the actual shoot because it turned out that I didn't need any lighting. The sunlight from the window was perfectly fine for the interview scene, and I didn't really have to do much for it, so I didn't. I kept it as simple as possible, got that interview quick and out of the way first, and then moved on to shooting the rest of the bar scenes when it got busier during the night. Next, I quickly want to hit on the editing process. In this case, the editing was pretty straightforward. I'd say the hardest part was doing the interview. It was about a 30-minute interview, and I took out less than a minute of actual lines and speaking. And what I did was just scrub through the entire interview, taking out those phrases that I thought would really pop and made sense in order. And then I kind of moved them around, separated, took some air out, and just touched it up a little bit so that it felt cohesive. Next, I went online to find some non-copyrighted music. I'm a real sucker for that 70s synths feel in music, and so when I found this track, I immediately knew that it would go perfectly with the kind of video I was going for. It also helped that a big idea of this barcade was retro games and classic games, and so it all tied in really smoothly. So next, I had to scrub through all of the B-roll I took that night, pick out the best shots, and slowly start creating an assembly, and then later I went back in and fine-tuned those cuts to match with the beat of the music. Once I'm happy with my rough cut, I'll watch the video in its entirety over and over again and start thinking about what I can add to make this video pop a little more instead of just a regular video. That often includes creating cool transitions, speeding footage up, slowing it down, things like that. But for this video, I wanted to do something with After Effects and motion graphics. It's an idea I had for a while now, but never actually implemented it in some clients' work. And so I figured this was a perfect opportunity to do so. So those kind of effects are really time consuming, so I only sprinkle them throughout the video, But after seeing how it turned out, I was really happy with it, and I'm really down for the idea of creating a really heavy motion graphics video. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the color grading I used for this video. Now, I will say that you should make sure with your client or business you're working with before adding a stylistic color grade to your video. A lot of businesses just won't want that. They want a more corporate, professional feel, and that stylistic color grade will sometimes make them feel not easy. And my color grading process is, again, pretty standard. I start with individually color correcting each clip just so they match the same look, and then on top of that I'll throw a layer with a LUT and then fine tune the LUT just to go for the exact look I need. So that's it, guys. That's the whole process of how I shot this video from start to finish. If you have any further questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And here's a bit of a shameless plug. If your company or business is looking for some video content on a professional level for a reasonable price, then don't hesitate to call me. All right, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys next time. Take it easy.